Hello and welcome to another video. I'm in the woods and you can guess the rest. Some really good rocks down here. Just got to try and not fall in the hole. But there's a couple of interesting rocks down here. So there's no shortage of resources. I'll take some of that for good measure. That looks good. The little soft ones. It's got a decent length to it and coverage. So obviously I've got no saw or anything. I've only got one tool, which is a means to make fire, which is my ferrocerium rod. That is my only tool. So I'm just gonna basically make the most of what I can forage. Obviously, disclaimer, I do have things like tripod, batteries, a torch, and fires in this forest on the ground are not permitted, so I have my fire pit as well. Just because, yes, I'm here to do a challenge, but I'm not here to set fire to the woods. So, there are a couple of really good rocks that I've found. They're two different types of rocks. And they're going to be my primitive tools for tonight. I'm basically using this rock to get the spikes off of this piece of blackberry so I can actually get a grip of it, and then hopefully turn it into a piece of makeshift cordage that I can then use to tie up that pole that I just found. I don't think these rocks are nappable, unfortunately, otherwise I'd just make a tool. But they can still be used as tools in their own right, regardless. Oh. Everything takes longer when you don't have a proper tool. So I'm just going to use the rock to work this away from the path. To hopefully give me something usable. There we go, see that? Fab. Right. Still got pith in it, but that'll do. Show you. There you go. This is how it looks from the back. All that area. I'm just going to block in because the wind changes direction. It's predominantly coming from behind me, but it does seem to be coming this way as well. So I'm just going to put something there to block the wind a little bit. But you can see it doesn't matter where you walk. There's just twigs, boughs, everything everywhere. So there's plenty of resources. this. Looks like exactly what I need. There's a huge gap in the back there, but I'm going to prioritise firewood. So I've got no tool, so this is all just going to be broken by hand and organised into its correct sizes. I have got some grass that I collected on the way in, drying in my little pocket, so with any luck we should be on toilet. Be careful when I'm doing this because my shirt is attached to that. Just working on all the smalls now for the fire. Fires on the ground here aren't permitted, so I have got my fire pit, just because I don't want to set fire to the woodland. Seems we have a full moon tonight, which will be good. That will hopefully light the forest up and make it a bit easier for me to see. So it's not quite dark enough to justify the torch, because obviously I only want to use the torch for filming, but I will use the torch when I demonstrate how to light this fire. Right, I think the torch has to go into this. So I've got my bundle of grass, and there's a little bit of that birch bark in here as well. Oh. There we go. Put that away. And pick off this the pore tubes, like the sporing tube under there. So wrap that up with my finger, and then I'm going to use this rock to hopefully strike some sparks into it and get it to light. Now this only works if the rock has a flat edge that's sharp, so I'm actually just going to there we go. That's better. That's much better. Right. Nice sharp edge. It wants to go. Oh, there we go. I'm going to protect it from the wind, but hopefully you can see that tiny little ember. So you can see it's not going into flame, it's just smouldering. But you've got to keep nursing it, you can't take your attention away. You've got to keep nursing it. Right, so sorry all the ups and downs, but you can see we've now got a large ember. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to place that in my grass can blow that into flame, hopefully. I owe you guys an apology because just as it blew into flame, I didn't realise that I had run out of battery and the camera had shut off. So I owe you guys an apology because I actually missed that bit. I'll maybe come out and do like a just a skill video, or I'll maybe see if I can show you again in the morning. Yeah, I'll try and show you again in the morning. So you can't actually really see the shelter without the torch. Right, so you can see me in the light of the fire. I've got a thing of water here with me that I'm just going to put straight in, and I've not actually got any food with me, but I have got some herbal tea, so I'm just going to pop those in there, and that will do me nicely. And this fire isn't going to be for the whole night, it's just so I can warm up, make myself a brew, and then I'll crawl into the shelter. It's tipped over, but at least it's boiling. The tools you've seen me use are my fire pit, which is compulsory because fires on the ground here are not permitted, my torch, literally just so I can film you guys, but the only actual bushcraft tool that I've used is the ferrocerium rod, so I think that counts. I had a little walk around and I managed to find this big punky piece of wood, so that was a score. So I got a couple of big punky pieces of wood on there, but it sounds like we are boiling. I'm gonna take it off carefully with my glove. There we go. Now I always carry my water in a single walled metal canteen, and that's for a couple of different reasons. The first one is just that it means I can boil water over the fire, but the second reason is that as long as it's cool enough, I can actually bring that into my sleep system if I've got, you know, like a blanket or whatever, and it will help keep me warm at night. Obviously this fire isn't going to stay lit for the whole night, it was just so I could boil and get a little bit of light for filming. But yeah, that hot tea is going to do wonders for me because obviously it's going to warm me from the inside, but it's also going to be able to come into the shelter with me and keep me warm, because I'm telling you this, once I crawl in there, I ain't crawling back out because it's going to be a tight squeeze. So you can see the shelter there with the little fire pit, my little tiny pile of wood, and my tea, which is still far too hot for me to do anything with. Just have a quick inspection of the emergency blackberry vine cordage, and yes, it's got loads of pith on it, but it's holding up the weight of the shelter, which is good. Right guys, I'm going to start bringing everything into the shelter now. This has cooled down enough for me to put the lid on it, so that's basically going to be my hot water bottle for the night, and then I'll bring you guys in as well. Ooh, it's going to be a bit of a tight squeeze. Oh. Ooh, definitely. My bag as a pillow. I hope that doesn't count as cheating. So the whole, basically the whole thing is like surrounding me, so there's maybe only not even a fist's, so what's that, maybe about 5 inches between my shoulder and the roof of the shelter. And the reason for that is because if it's a survival shelter, it has to be as small as you can possibly get away with, so that it helps to retain body heat. So I've got this, I'm going to tuck this in to keep me warm. I think I could have done with more, definitely a bit more insulation on the floor. You want between 3 and 6 inches of compressed debris, between 3 and 6 inches of compressed debris on the ground to insulate you from the cold from conduction from the ground. I could have done with a little bit more, but there is a chance it might rain a little bit tonight, so I prioritised the thatching for the top. So that's my view from the shelter. The plan is to stay in here and wait out the night, basically. I'm expecting a very rough night with hardly any sleep, but if it gets too bad I can always come out and go over there and I can sit. But anyway, that's me. And I said once I get in, I ain't getting back out. If anything crazy happens, I'll let you know. But apart from that, I'm just gonna let this fire die down on its own. And I will see you guys in the morning. Right, hello. Don't mind me picking my eyes. Right, good morning. It didn't get too cold last night. It was +2 degrees with a real feel of -2. However, all of this is a fantastic wind block, so I was okay. See, everything in there is really compressed, so you could definitely feel the cold through the ground. But my cordage held up, and it's actually not solid, it's still flexible. As I said yesterday, I don't have any food, so I'm just going to put the fire pit away because there's no need for me to make a fire unnecessarily. But I will, if I can find my fire steel and that mushroom, I will show you how I lit the fire yesterday, just because I realised that I didn't get the whole thing. Show you what I was doing last night. I just broke off a bit of this, birch 44, and then you remove the sporing tubes. You can actually powder the mushroom completely if you want, but I couldn't really be bothered to do that last night. So, remove the sporing tubes and then rough it up. And you can either rough it up with a rock, or you can rough it up with your fingers, like that. And then you take your ferro rod and a rock with a sharp edge. I'll just nap that sharp edge a little bit. Hold on. Put that all over there. Yeah, the sharper the edge on the rock that you're striking with, then the better the strike, basically, the better quality strike you'll get. You basically just hammer it until you get a little ember. See there? Protect from the wind. Yeah, I've got to protect it from the wind. It is quite windy today, so not as bad as it was last night. Right, I've got my grass and whatever, and this stays in your pocket at all times, because if you can keep it close to your body, it will stay drier. Right, we're going to keep growing that ember, and then we'll put it into the tinder bundle. Get that in there, and then close it tight, give it a minute. Yeah, I've got to be patient with this. Oh. There you go. Look at that. Me off guard a little bit. I wasn't expecting it to just go, but it is quite windy, and I think obviously when you're doing it and there's a lull in the wind, it's only your oxygen that you're giving the tinder bundle that will obviously make it go into flame. But then if you get a sudden gust of wind, just be mindful of that. A sudden gust of wind could just send it up. If you like what you see and would like to see more videos from me, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, etc, etc. This was a one night challenge basically, with just one proper tool. So if you've got any challenges for me, drop them in the comments section. I do believe it was Sticks Outdoors that invented the ONS challenge, or the one night survival challenge, which is water, a meal, and then a means to light a fire, so basically one tool. I believe he invented that, so make sure that you go and subscribe to his channel. I'll put a link up here. Go give him some love. Sticks, brother, thank you very much for the inspiration, and if you've got any challenges for me, let me know. But that's all we got time for, so thanks again, and I will see you in the woods.